What is up, guys? ThePartyKnife here. Now, you might find this hard to believe, but I have in fact not always been this cool, calm, collected, happy, normal individual that sits before you today. And as you all know, obviously, I have a ginormous brain. But I have to come clean and be real with you guys. Because despite the fact that my brain is absolutely huge, I have in fact done some really dumb shit in my life. And today I'm gonna tell a story, and hopefully there will be some amount of wisdom in there. And if by any chance my personality is slightly more interesting than that of a wet carrot, and by the even slighter chance that some of you actually care, maybe, just maybe, this will be a good video. Now, today I'm gonna tell you guys the story of the first time I really fucked up. I mean the first time, you know, where you're like, oh shit. You know, that feeling from deep inside that just tells you, I am fucked, right? I'm gonna, like, my parents are gonna, they're gonna send me off to an orphanage, right? Like, I didn't actually think that, but you get the point, right? So this was the first time I really had to take a deep look in the mirror and go, oh fuck. Now, to give you guys the setting, I think, how old was I? My parents got divorced when I was 11, 12-ish. So, and this was before that. So I think I must have been 10 years old, around, roughly speaking, 10 years old, right? So like in 4th grade, something like that. And I thought to set up the whole scene for you guys, I decided that we're gonna roll in on Google Earth here, just to, you know, actually show you guys what, when, where, and why everything happened. Let's see here. Now, the address we're rolling in on here is where I grew up, right? So that's my house right there, where it used to be, my parents' house. So this right here is where I grew up, right? Now, this is a great part of Denmark, in my opinion, one of the best, because it's like really close to the city, as you can see, but it's like right on the edge where you still have lakes, you still have a legitimately closed military airport that you could like explore, filled with like hangars and like, you know, there's green stuff, there's wild, you know, not wildlife, but you get what I'm saying, right? You actually have nature. And as I said, I was 10 years old, and I was with 2 friends this day. I believe it was either a Friday afternoon or a Saturday. At least a weekend was gonna pass in between. And essentially we'd been hanging out at my house and chilling around in this area up here that had like a bunch of, you can't see them for the trees, but there's like a bunch of, you know, playgrounds and stuff. And, you know, we were bored, we were exploring, we had, you know, bicycles. And so we drove over here and past this building, which is literally called the Longhouse. I mean, not like in a Viking sense, Langhuset, but like it's, yeah, the Longhouse, right? Because as you can see, it's a pretty goddamn long house. It's half a kilometer long, which was at the time it was built the longest building in Denmark. But anyways, that's besides the point. Now we were chilling and exploring in this area up here, and we found ourselves right around here. Okay. Now, at the time, this building right here, I mean, it was there and it wasn't there. It was being built, right? They were doing construction here and here. Although the buildings themselves had been sort of, the foundation, everything was in place, but it was essentially an active building ground, right? And we found this place and we're like, oh, there's so much interesting stuff here, right? And there was no one around, which is, I believe it was a Saturday for that reason. It was completely empty, and we were sort of exploring. Now, we found some interesting stuff. At first, we found this box completely out in the open, filled with these long tubes, like essentially like light bulbs, but I forgot what they're called in English. But like this different type of lighting, but like these long tubes that are filled with the gas. And then I forgot what they're called, but you probably know what I'm talking about. And we accidentally dropped one. And this, you could see the smoke come out, right? Which was really fascinating. We were just a bunch of curious 10-year-olds, right? So we started taking these because there was a whole large wooden box filled with them. And we started oh, that's so cool. And broke a bunch of them. Let's be real. And we found some interesting stuff there. And we probably, we broke a couple of things, okay? I specifically remember there was this really weird looking large cylinder, large solid cylinder, right? But it wasn't attached to the ground, right? And I remember we found this thing what the hell is this? It's large and black, and it's what is this? And we accidentally flipped it over. And out of this big cylinder fell a bunch of rocks. What looks like a bunch of tiny small black rocks, right? Found out later that it was coal, which will make sense later. But we flipped this over and oh shit, and then we started running further up here where, believe it or not, there was a crane. Yes, I said a crane. There was a crane there, okay? And it wasn't locked, okay? So we all get inside the crane, right? We're like, oh, you can actually sit in here. And I shit you not, okay? The keys were in the glove compartment. And once we found the keys, right, I felt like we all looked at each other and we were like, I don't think this is a good idea. But no one was no one wanted to be the person who said to the others, let's not do this, right? And so what ended up happening was that I took the keys. Actually, we tried, we put them in the ignition, right? We turned it, and then the engine started, right? And the moment it was just in sort of an empty, so it wasn't moving or anything. It was just, it was on. And the moment that happened, we all freaked out, right? Because that made a lot of noise. So the moment that happened, we were like, okay, shit, panic mode. Let's get out of here, right? So we just immediately we bailed. We bailed, took our bikes, and just drove home. And I believe they both went to their houses, and I went home to mine. So we essentially, I said goodbye, around down here, and I went home, right? Okay. So we talked the next day. And we were like, we weren't really feeling, we're like, you remember that? Yeah, that was kind of dumb, wasn't it? I'm not sure that was a good idea, now that I think about it. Sort of the realization slowly started to kick that, that was actually, now that I think about it, that was... I don't think I actually thought in these terms because I wasn't aware of the term at the time, but vandalism of property. And let's go up there and look, right? So we go up there, and there's police there on a Sunday, right? And we look in there, really, and there's this guy comes up to us and looks us in the face and did you kids have anything to do with this? I'm like, no. Oh, because we're gonna find out who did. Okay, and oh shit, right? That's when the feeling sort of, oh fuck, oh shit. But rather than go home and come clean, as we probably should have done, because the next day, on a Monday after school, no, actually, sorry. Yeah, was it the same day or the next? I don't remember if it was the same day or the next day. It doesn't matter. The phone rings, back when you had home lines. So the house phone rings, and I'm there first, so I grab it, and hello? And that's the police. And I hear my mom pick up the phone upstairs, so I put it down. And in that moment, I knew I am screwed. Because 15 minutes later, knock, knock on the door, there stands 2 police officers. And that's when it really kicks in, the feeling, right? Now, as it turns out, I don't know if you guys can see here, but this building looks a little bit different than these other buildings, right? You look and you're like, there's a bunch of pipes here, and everything just seems a little bit, it's almost like this building is very special compared to all the other buildings, right? Well, that is because, as it turns out, that is a medical facility that produces a medicine. I don't know which kind, because we were never told. So I'm not sure what they produce, but It's essentially a medicinal firm, and that's a production unit that produces medicine. And you remember that big black thing I told you guys about, the cylinder that we flipped over? Turns out that was essentially part of their ventilation system. That's why there was coal in it. It was essentially part of the whole cleaning system to their ventilation. And that system, like we're talking, because of that specifically. Like, one thing was the fact that we had, broken small stuff, right? But the ventilation system, combined with the fact that when the workers came to work Monday morning, they found out that the crane was out of fuel because it had just been standing there in empty, until there was no more fuel, which obviously also delayed work. Plus the ventilation system and the delays and everything. We're talking like $100,000 in damage because of that. Right? That's bad, right? Thankfully, we're in such a great country where thankfully we were way under the legal criminal age, and thank God for that. And I totally regret it. Let me just put it that way. I know I'm sitting here laughing, and obviously that was a terrible thing, and it was dumb as hell, and we had no clue what we were doing. And I still remember being driven up to the police station, and and I felt horrible. Let me be clear about that. I felt absolutely horrible. I knew that it was like, oh shit, I fucked up. Yeah, I fucked up, but I had no idea just how much, right? Because we had no idea what we'd been playing with, right? We hadn't, all of these hadn't even crossed our minds, right? Because we were 10 years old. But let's just say that was, let's just say I was an angel for the next month. At least, let's just put it that way. Like, yes, Mom? Yep, okay, Mom. Yes. Yep. So, yeah. There you go. That's the story of my very first major fuck up. Not the last. Or the worst. But definitely the first. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what the dumbest thing is you've ever done. And as always, I love you guys. Stay awesome.